Well, I just finished up watching Wolfpack, I guess season one, but I finished the first season of the show called Wolfpack on Paramount Plus, and my goodness, is it a doozy. So, spoilers are ahead if you have not watched the show and you don't want to be spoiled, you have been warned. Also, too, this is just going to be my general thoughts on the show, not an episode by episode review. This is just more my general thoughts on how bad or how good this show is and if you should watch it or not. So, Wolfpack is a very bland and dull show. It feels just like a CW show with F-bombs. That is the best way I can describe this show. None of the characters are all that interesting, and even Buffy Summers herself, Sarah Michelle Gellar, couldn't save this show. Does she elevate the show to become a hell of a lot better? Yes. Is her character the most compelling throughout the whole show? Yes. Does she still have great acting chops and needs to become Buffy again? Yes. Is she also still as captivating as she was 20 years ago? Hell yes. So even with the great Sarah Michelle Gellar in this show, she couldn't save it. I just feel like the writing for the show and generally the acting of the teenagers is just so bad. It is not a good show by any stretch of the imagination. The first 4 episodes of this show are mind-numbingly boring and stupid. The show only starts to pick up right around episode 5, but really it doesn't really pick up until episode 6. 5 sets up episode 6 where things actually kind of start to happen. And I will give the show, once that does happen, it does get slightly better. It becomes more intriguing. Again, I will give it that. But generally speaking though, this show really is not worth your time. There are so many other better shows to watch than this one. I have not watched Teen Wolf, the old show on MTV, but I hear it's a lot better than this, so go spend your time and watch that. It at least has multiple seasons, even a movie, and a bigger fan base, so I just assume it's better. And I believe the same creator of that show did this show. I don't know what happened because I've yet to watch Teen Wolf. I don't really plan to, but this show's pretty bad. I don't know what went wrong between a show that had a good run and a big following compared to this show. But just the characters in this show are just not likable really in any sense other than Sarah Michelle Gellar's character, which I think her name's Christine or Christy Ramsey, I think, something like that. But we have Everett, Blake, Harlan, and Luna. Those are our 4 main characters that are the teenagers that are the werewolves in the show. I gotta say, none of them are all that likable. I think the only one that is a decent character is Blake. Now, I don't know if it is the actor's problem or if it's the writing. I don't like to drag down actors when I make these reviews very much, but I do feel like the acting for the main 4 characters isn't the best. Is it the absolute worst? No. I don't feel like any of them have a great range of emotion. It's just kind of all the same all the time. And I'm not trying to be mean by any means. I'm just telling you what I see on screen. And I'm not an actor. I don't know any of this stuff. I don't know what it takes. I'm just saying what I see on screen, and it's just not very dynamic. When I was scrolling through Google trying to find some pictures for this video, I came across the TV Guide headline, and I think it kind of encapsulates this show perfectly. Wolfpack review: formulaic teen drama falls flat despite its supernatural pedigree. And I think that kind of sums it up really well too. You have a lot of good things going for it, like the creator of Teen Wolf, you have Sarah Michelle Gellar, you have an interesting premise, or I should say interesting enough premise. It should be a pretty good show, but for whatever reason, it just kind of falls on its face. And I would imagine the show did not have a huge budget, which I'm not faulting a show for not having a huge budget, but I gotta say, some of the CGI in this show is pretty bad. It would have been a lot better if you did the, let your mind wander of what the big bad werewolf actually looks like and just barely show hints of it, where they show the full thing and, the CGI werewolf does not look very good. It looks pretty bad. I would even argue, tying it back to Buffy the Vampire Slayer, that we see better CGI monsters in a show from 20 years ago compared to this new one. It's not the best CGI I've ever seen, that's for sure. Even the eyes, because the eyes are CGI, like when they're all werewolfing out, even the eyes sometimes don't look that great. And you would think that they would get that right. There's even this one scene where Sarah Michelle Gellar's character is beating up this guy, right? And she's all werewolfed out because, spoiler alert, she's a werewolf at the end of the show. She's beating up this guy, and you can tell that they're trying to motion track the yellow eyes over her eyes, and it gets all bouncy, and it's like she's technically looking down, but the eyes are like looking forward. It's bad. It is real bad, but it is what it is. It's a silly show. You can't think too hard about it. And the other thing too that I got to bring up, I found myself staring at it a lot, was I felt like every woman in this show had this Instagram TikTok filter over them the whole time. I don't know how to describe it beyond that. Like, obviously all the women are wearing makeup, which I get it, you know, it's a show, but like on every close-up of any female character, it's almost too smooth, if you know what I mean. Like, it is like no pores, no wrinkles, no smile lines, no nothing. It's like an Instagram or TikTok filter or something like that. Like, it is too much. But then they'd have a close-up on one of the guys, it's not that. Like, you could see, you know, a zit or a blemish or a scar or a smile line or whatever. So it was just something to do with all the women. Like, they put this filter over them. It's very odd. And I don't know if it was because the show is in ultra high definition and I've just never noticed it with other shows that are like that. But at the same time, you think if it was like that for the whole show, it would even mask the dudes, but it only does it on the girls. And one last thing too for this show, it ends on a giant cliffhanger. It ends like on 4 different cliffhangers to be exact. Like, all the characters get split up and it's just a giant cliffhanger. You finally learn kind of one of the secrets, but at the same time they open up like 9 more doors of secrets that you're kind of like, oh, okay. But then the season ends and it's looking like it's probably not going to get a season 2. So this show just ends with a giant cliffhanger with really no resolution at all. And I've even tried to look it up, like, oh, are they going to get a season 2? You know, is there anything in the works? The only thing that I saw was Sarah Michelle Gellar said that they're kind of in talks for a season 2. So who knows how much truth is behind that? I have no idea. Take that with a giant grain of salt. All I know is that this show probably shouldn't get a season 2, even with the cliffhanger. This show is really not worth your time. There are a million different things to go watch out in the world that are better than this. So go watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer if you're looking for something. It is a billion times better than this. Well, I think that pretty much just wraps up this review. If you enjoyed this show, let me know down in the comments. I'm really curious to hear people if they actually enjoyed this. And if you did enjoy it, I'm happy that you did enjoy this show. It's just personally not for me by any stretch of the imagination. The only real things that I liked about this show was Sarah Michelle Gellar. There were certain scenes where it felt like she was Buffy again, and that's what I really enjoyed about this show. It was really cool to kind of see her out and about doing a thing again, and it felt like at certain times she was kind of Buffy again, and that was a lot of fun. But beyond that, I really didn't enjoy this show all that much. So let me know your thoughts on the show down in the comments below, and while you're down there, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be greatly appreciated. Until next time, guys, everyone have a great day. Thanks for watching.